What if the seasonal escape you've curated to outrun your grief is actually the only landscape spacious enough to hold it, and true restoration requires not escaping your history but letting the salt air dissolve the armor you've mistaken for strength? In Summer State of Mind, Kristy Woodson Harvey delivers a Southern women's fiction saga that transforms the beach house trope into a luminous exploration of intergenerational healing and female friendship, proving that in places defined by tides, belonging isn't found in perfection. It's forged in the messy, sun-bleached honesty of showing up as you are. This isn't merely another coastal romance with porch swings and sweet tea. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every crashing wave feels like both lament and lullaby. Consent to heal is negotiated through shared vulnerability rather than forced optimism. And home means honoring the parts of yourself that refuse to be tidied away. From the first humidity-laced narration, listeners are immersed in a world where memory is tide-dependent and presence is the only true anchor. Perfect for fans of emotionally rich Southern fiction and stories where female bonds defy generational fracture, this audiobook serves up atmospheric warmth, relentless emotional authenticity, and protagonists whose journey from fractured strangers to chosen family resonates with anyone who's ever believed healing required leaving the past behind. When recently widowed architect Ilara Vance inherits her estranged grandmother's crumbling Outer Banks cottage, she expects renovation project, not to discover the property's deed includes letters referencing unspoken agreements with the land itself, and the neighboring matriarch B. Calloway carries the same saltwater sorrow in her bones. But as Ilara navigates peeling paint and buried lineage, she realizes this inheritance isn't about real estate, it's about restitution. Harvey masterfully avoids reducing Ilara to grieving widow or B to quirky elder. Instead, she crafts a relationship rooted in radical reciprocity across generations, where trust is earned through shared labor rather than verbal promises, and where intimacy emerges from honoring each other's rhythms without demanding synchronization. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional alchemy, capturing Ilara's disciplined composure softening into embodied clarity, and B's weathered wisdom revealing warmth beneath stoic resilience. You don't just hear their bond deepen, you feel the seismic shift of two women learning that some foundations can only be rebuilt when you stop sanding away the scars. What elevates Summer State of Mind beyond typical coastal fiction is its nuanced portrayal of place as active participant rather than passive backdrop. Ilara isn't merely restoring a house, she's confronting how urban displacement taught her to treat home as aesthetic rather than ancestor, challenging the notion that healing requires erasure. B doesn't guide her through nostalgia. She creates space where Ilara's chaos can exist without judgment, honoring her autonomy even as her own shores erode. Their relationship evolves through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during storm prep that bypass performance, establishing rituals that protect both structural integrity and emotional safety, and defending each other from developers who mistake preservation for stagnation. Supporting characters add vital texture: fishermen whose labor encodes suppressed wisdom, grandchildren whose curiosity reflects inherited hope, even the cottage itself, rendered as a living archive whose warped floors absorb decades of unprocessed mourning. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In ecosystems built on flow, rigidity is violence, and presence is the only reliable navigation. Even the domestic mechanics serve thematic depth, with repair schedules mirroring emotional integration and seasonal cycles becoming metaphors for earned renewal. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into coastal intimacy. The narrator embodies Ilara and B with remarkable distinction. Ilara's voice carries crisp intelligence laced with dawning receptivity, and B's low timbre trembles with suppressed tenderness beneath disciplined cadence, making their chemistry palpable even in stillness. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming immersion. Distant gull cries marking temporal rhythm, rain against shingled roofs during vulnerable confessions, the hushed creak of floorboards sinking with breath during moments of clarity, all anchor mythic stakes in tangible reality.
Pacing mirrors the cadence of tidal life, deliberate during reflection and foundational bonding, then surging with urgency as external threats collide with internal awakenings. Whether you're commuting through arid landscapes or sitting in twilight solitude, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and embodiment feels lifeline. It's storytelling as somatic validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where healing isn't about escaping the water, but about remembering how to move within it. Press play, step onto the porch, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by loss, hearts still find ways to rise with the tide. Your next favorite Southern tale isn't waiting in perfect summers, it's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to dive deep.